Alright, so imagine this. You're looking at the first hands-on of the iPhone 18 Pro Max dummy, and your brain instantly goes, wait, that's it? Same flat edges, same overall shape, same vibe as last year. It almost feels like Apple hit copy-paste. But then, you start noticing the little things. And with Apple, it's always the little things. Because the first change you'll spot isn't loud at all, it's actually pretty subtle. The dynamic island is still there, but it's smaller, roughly 25% smaller. Now on paper, that sounds like one of those, yeah, okay, cool upgrades. But this is actually kind of a big deal. Think about it. Since the iPhone 14 Pro, that front design has basically stayed frozen. And now, for the first time, Apple is actually shrinking that cutout. We're talking from around 20 millimeters down to under 15 millimeters. That's not just a visual tweak, that's engineering progress. And the interesting part, Apple didn't remove it. They refined it, which basically tells us they're not done with the dynamic island yet. A smaller cutout means more screen, less distraction, and just a cleaner look overall. But it also raises a bigger question. How did they manage to shrink it? Because Apple doesn't just magically make things smaller without something changing behind the scenes. And that's where things start getting interesting. Flip the phone around and suddenly the boring narrative starts to fall apart. The camera setup looks chunkier. The lenses are bigger, they stick out more, and the whole module feels just a bit more aggressive this time. Not dramatically, but enough that you'd notice it in hand. And Apple doesn't usually add bulk for no reason. Bigger camera hardware almost always means something is cooking. And in this case, it could be something we've been hearing about for a while. A variable aperture system. Now, if that actually happens, it's a big deal. Because instead of relying heavily on software tricks, the camera would physically adjust how much light it lets in. That means better low-light shots, more natural depth of field, and photos that just look more real. But here's the catch. That kind of tech needs space. More components, more moving parts, more precision. Which would explain why the camera bump is growing again. So suddenly this same old design doesn't feel so boring anymore. It starts to feel intentional. There are also tiny changes to the body itself. It looks slightly thicker, maybe a touch taller and wider too. Nothing drastic. We're talking the kind of difference you'd barely notice unless you're comparing side by side. There's even a chance some older cases might still fit, depending on how accurate these dummy units are. But again, thickness usually means one of two things, bigger battery or more powerful internals. And honestly, it could be both this time. Now zooming out a bit, Apple's strategy this year gets even more interesting. Because alongside the Pro models, we're expecting something way more dramatic. Possibly an iPhone Ultra, maybe even a foldable. And next to something like that, this phone? Yeah, it's going to look safe, maybe even a little boring. But that might actually be the point. Let the flashy new form factor grab all the attention, while the Pro quietly levels up where it actually matters: camera, display, and overall experience. So yeah, at first glance, this feels like a small update. But when you connect the dots, the smaller dynamic island, the thicker body, the bigger camera hardware, it starts to look like Apple is setting the stage for something much bigger under the hood. And honestly, those are usually the upgrades that matter the most over time. But I'm curious, do you actually like the idea of a smaller dynamic island? Or were you hoping Apple would just get rid of it completely?